Max Verstappen claimed victory in the Austrian Grand Prix sprint after seeing off the bold challenge of Red Bull teammate Sergio Perez during a thrilling first lap battle. World Championship leader Verstappen started ahead of his teammate on the front row, but there was almost embarrassment for Red Bull at their home Grand Prix as the duo twice came close to making contact on the first lap. Perez got off the line better than Verstappen and passed Dutchman into the first corner before Verstappen hit back at turn 3, with both coming on team radio to express their dissatisfaction at each other. Perez, who's been on a dismal run of form since winning 2 of the first 4 races in a strong start to the season, lost to place Nico Hülkenberg on the exit at turn 3, but regained a position to ensure a Red Bull 1-2. Carlos Sainz advanced from 5th to claim the final podium spot, with Lance Stroll holding off Aston Martin teammate Fernando Alonso for 4th. Hülkenberg was the highest finisher of cars who chose to switch from intermediate to dry tyres, closing in the closing stages, finishing off in 6th. Esteban Ocon held off Mercedes' George Russell, who benefited from being the first to switch for 7th in a thrilling battle to the line. The Brits killed the final point available in the 24th lap contest, with Verstappen taking his World Championship lead to over 70 points over Perez with the win. The Dutchman will have the further opportunity to extend his advantage as he starts on pole. And yeah, obviously, with all the stuff happening yesterday, Perez is down in 15th, so yeah, key opportunity for Verstappen. But yeah, looking to extend his streak of 4 successive race victory and stunning form, topping practice, qualifying, and basically everything. He was even more dominant in the shootout as he won by almost half a second, but finally faced a real challenge at the start of the sprint. With rain having to force intermediate starts, Perez launched an attack on his teammate into the first corner. Given his considerable lead and the fact that there's only 1 point available in the sprint, the Dutchman may have been surprised at Perez's boldness. The Mexican, who ran wide on the formation that showed no hesitation as he dived up the inside of the first corner, but Verstappen responded with an equally aggressive move 2 corners later. Perez was forced off the track and subsequently lost to Hülkenberg, while Norris came back to a standstill to avoid going into the back of Verstappen on what was an extremely eventful opening lap. We also saw Lance Stroll pass teammate Fernando Alonso to reverse their starting positions. Lewis Hamilton climbed up 5 places to 12th. Hülkenberg initially held his own, but as his tyres wore down on the drying track, Perez eased past that 12. Ordinarily, aside from Hülkenberg continuing to drop back, this may well have been the end of the drying, but the track became slick ready, and enabling DLS provided a dramatic finale. Russell's pit stop at the end of lap 16 was proven to be a good move as he swiftly became the fastest car on track, triggering 10 more drivers in. The top 5 along with Ocon stayed out, but Russell's extra time to jump onto his worn soft tyres enabled him to jump the unfortunate Norris for the final point in the closing stages. Russell very nearly claimed a final point, but finished literally just behind Ocon by less than 100ths of a second. And before I finish, let me run you through the results. Max Verstappen obviously coming up on top. Once he survived that first lap and all the drama there, a very comfortable win. It's just so easy for him at the moment. Perez really gave it a good go in the first lap, but in the end it wasn't quite speed, but second it's still an improvement, and he's got a tough day in store tomorrow. Carlos Sainz instead, really good performance from him. I've been so impressed with him lately, outperforming Charles Leclerc on genuine pace, and this is another example here. Stroll, credit to him. Alonso probably quicker, but still to be in that ballpark is really strong to beat him as well. Good points for Aston in their battle against Mercedes. Nico Hülkenberg probably the star of the day. What an incredible performance by him. 3 points for Haas in the sprint race is absolutely massive and could have serious consequences by the end of the season. Ocon 7th, another decent drive from him, did well to hold off Russell, and 2 more points for Alpine. Russell 8, salvaging points on a really disappointing day for Mercedes, and good call with strategy. Norris gutting for him. It kind of feels like McLaren always have good qualifying, but just don't really convert it in a race. So frustrating. Hamilton 10th, obviously all undone in qualifying, which is frustrating, but like he said, it didn't really matter. It was only a few points really that it probably would have cost him, but still had decent pace. Excited to see what he can do tomorrow. Piastri in 11th, good recovery drive from him. He was looking solid there, but Leclerc, really disappointing race for him, to be honest. Even after switching, I think he even got overtaken by Piastri. So yeah, poor from him, especially when you see where his teammate is. Then you got Albon in 13th. Kind of just fell off with a soft tyre run and maybe just switched a bit too late there. Magnussen 14th. Disappointing for him, just doesn't really have the pace compared to Hülkenberg at the moment. It seems really disappointing. Similar story for Gasly with his teammate, and then you had the AlphaTauris, just poor pace really. Sargent bit off his teammate as well, Alfa Romeo just rounding off a very disappointing day for that team. It is unfortunate to say, but they really are struggling at the foot of the table currently. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Any thoughts, comments over daily for F1 news and subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.